All right, let's jump in. Fox 10 Talk Sports pregame edition, the second week in a row we're doing this here. Robby Baker, Blake Niemann, and we are going to be talking some Sun Devil football here. First of all, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, everybody. We're almost to 250 years as a country. Next year,
congratulations
Congratulations to us.
Congratulations,
that's big time. Tried to wear some blue today. Gotta represent the country.
I got a red, white, and blue tie, and then the best I could do, I got Mario socks on. That's the best I could do for red, white, and blue socks. It's the right colors. But yeah, hopefully maybe you're on your phone watching us, having some barbecue. Hope you all are enjoying your 4th of July. Beautiful day out today. Perfect day. Yeah, shout out my dad for smoking some ribs today. It was very hard driving downtown. I was struggling to stay awake. It was ribs and dessert and everything, and it was hot outside, and I was like, man, I'm just ready for a nap.
The cookout was good is what you're telling me.
It was good, and I was very ready for a nap, but in the world we live in, it was time to come to work, so that's what we're doing here.
We got to talk some Sun Devils.
Talking Sun Devil football, because Big 12 Media Days are coming up
less than a week.
A few days away now. Monday, we'll be traveling out to Dallas, and ASU will be at the podium on Wednesday out there at the Star in Frisco. They moved Big 12 Media Days this year. They've moved around a little bit. Last year, they were at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. This year, they'll be at the Star, the Dallas Cowboys practice facility out there in Dallas, which kind of makes sense. That's kind of the most central location that you can for the sprawling Big 12 conference, and it should be an exciting couple days to catch up with some Sun Devils that will be out there. You're looking at the guys that will be making the trip right now, representing the maroon and gold: Clayton Smith, Jordan Tyson, CJ Fight, Xavier Alford, Ben Coleman, then of course the kind of Heisman hype man himself, Sam Levitt. 6 Sun Devils will be out there in addition to Blake and myself.
Yeah, that's
and Kenny
really
Dillingham as well.
That's a really good group of guys right there, because not only are those 6 some of the best players on ASU's team, they're also all on the Pat Tillman Leadership Council. So they're high character guys, big leaders for this team on both sides of the ball. And everyone, I just need to put into perspective for a second that Sam Levitt, rightfully deserving of all the hype right now. I've done a story on him. Great high character guy. I hope he does the absolute best this year. But there are some also names within this group that's going to Big 12 Media Day that you guys will get to know soon. I'm sure you all already know Jordan Tyson, but you should get to know him a little better, because he could be the top wide receiver taken in next year's NFL draft. And there's also some high character, high IQ players as well. Xavier Alford, he's a extremely cerebral safety.
The 100-yard landlord.
Ben Coleman got his degree at Cal before coming to ASU, so he's smart. He's got a degree from the #1 public university in the country. Then Clayton Smith is intelligent as well. CJ Fight, just a great guy, and a lot of those guys are from Texas too, so that's going to be a little fun coming home for them.
Yeah, 4 of the 6 guys that the Sun Devils are bringing are from Texas, so a cool homecoming. And I was talking with Doug Tamaro, who is the media relations guy in charge of all the big stuff at Arizona State Athletics. He said that a lot of their families are going to be there and be a part of this as well. So that's really cool for those guys, because when you go through a media day like this, it's kind of a whirlwind. Sometimes they kind of call it the car wash, because you're just going station to station talking to all these different reporters and media outlets. But for these guys to go through this and to get this experience, get that exposure, and then also potentially have some of their family members there as well, that should be really cool for experience for them. And how different is this going to be for the Sun Devils? First of all, if fans don't know, the Big 12 will no longer be conducting a preseason media poll anymore.
Arizona State put that to rest when they were picked last.
Yes, Arizona State
broke the system.
They broke the preseason poll with what happened last year. So basically, the Arizona State being picked last and winning the conference, that they will be the last team to ever do that, because the Big 12 is not doing it anymore after we basically proved as a media collective we don't know when it comes to college football. But it's not our fault. These teams change so much.
There's so much polarization with the transfer portal.
Exactly. It's almost impossible to accurately predict a college football season now. So this is going to be so different, because not only is ASU not going to be picked last in the preseason poll, there will be no preseason poll, but the consensus will probably be that Arizona State is going to be the favorite going into this Big 12 season, as they should be. And this is going to be a different experience for them, because the last couple of years moving into the Big 12 and even leaving the Pac-12, there was 3-9 seasons, not a lot of hype. there just wasn't a lot of buzz around this program. And Blake, they are going to be the bells of the ball when we get to Dallas this year.
Absolutely. There's no question about it. And Kenny Dillingham has been working his tail off to work against that mindset of getting complacent and being okay with the championship mindset, feeling like they are still the champions, because at the end of the day, it's a new slate come the 2025 season. That is in the past. And they've really tried to put that behind them and get that, that they are entitled to anything, that they can look past anything behind them. I mean, on the first day of practice when they were back in spring ball, Kenny Dillingham had "We Are the Champions" by Queen blaring on the speakers on repeat.
I still have it stuck in my head.
It was. I think it was for like the first whole week of practice. It played on repeat over and over, and I'm not joking. It seriously went for 2 hours straight of practice, and it got so annoying to the players. I think they got the sentiment that people telling you you're good, people telling you that you're the champions or the reigning Big 12 champs, how you're going to handle the pressure, yada yada yada. Working past on that and just being numb to it by having kind of tests like that to just become immune to people telling you you're good and not letting it phase your internal mindset or change how you view yourself or view your team. Got to be really internally focused on the present moment, because that's what happened to ASU last year. You talk to most of the players, it's like from game to game, they didn't think they were going to be Big 12 champions early on in the season or go to the college football playoff. They just won game after game after game in close fashion, and that's very hard to do in college football, is win those down-to-the-wire games, a la Kansas, a la BYU, a la Kansas State when they came out right out the gun, ended up not being a super close game, but that was really impressive coming out the gate on the road. Just a lot of impressive things that happened last season that are going to be difficult to duplicate, especially recently. Texas Tech just today, I think, signed a high school recruit to a $5 million.
Was that the $5.1 million revenue sharing
deal? The new revenue sharing era is officially underway.
That's more than a rookie contract in the NFL. I mean, it's insane.
As of 4 days ago, revenue sharing is officially underway in college sports. It started on July 1st, giving schools up to $20 million to share with their athletes, indirect revenue. Now, as Graham Rossini explained to us on Sports Night, this last week, generating that revenue is now the challenge on athletic departments such as ASU. And so that's what Graham said. He's trying to create a business within Sun Devil athletics and trying to create a better business model, better game day experiences to attract more fans, sell more tickets, sell more concessions, and ultimately make for a better revenue generation for ASU.
Well, and if you need to generate revenue, now is the perfect time if you're ASU to have a season like you had, because the excitement is at an all-time high. I want to pop up here. This is, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Hey, wait for it. Hey, there it is. This is the ratings for the upcoming college football video game. And as you look here, this will be a fun topic, I'm sure, at Media Day when we get out there to talk to the guys about this. But Jordan Tyson at a 94. Blake, you kind of alluded to it. Sam's going to get a lot of buzz as the quarterback, and that's what happens when you play quarterback. But Jordan Tyson is the best player on the Sun Devils team going into this season. He's the highest ranked Sun Devil, but I think he's the third or fourth highest rated player in the entire game. And in talking to people around the program, Jordan Tyson is he obviously, we know he's the real deal, but there is a chance that he is not even just a first-round draft pick. He may be the first wide receiver drafted.
He very well could.
Next April. So high expectations for him and a high rating, one of the highest in the game. And then as you look some of the other highest-rated players on this Arizona State team, two that kind of stood out to me, I'm going to mess up his name.
Kanye Udo,
yeah. I didn't want to mess up his last name. But the running back transfer in from Army, coming in at an 88, which means that externally there's high expectations for him. I don't know about you. Internally, I know there's a lot of high expectations for Kyson Brown as well, and he doesn't crack this top 10 or so for the Sun Devils in ratings. But, of course, these change over time. And then Shema Mateer at an 86. That is, he had a great season last year, but I was impressed to see the big tight end kind of be that high up in the rankings. What did you think?
Well, I think Shema Mateer deserves it given the season he had. He had a solid campaign. Sam Levitt's probably his number 2 target last year behind Jordan Tyson. I think Jordan Tyson is deserving of the 94 rating for sure. I mean, like you said,
he could be even higher.
He could be the number 1 receiver taken in this draft because it honestly perfectly aligns for him given his draft stock being eligible this year with Jeremiah Smith, who is arguably the best high school to college transition we may have ever seen in college football.
And I believe he's the highest rated player
State.
in the game right now.
And rightfully so. He won Ohio State a national championship on his back with the final catch. Regardless, he's not eligible to go to the NFL until next year. So Jordan Tyson have that. Neither is Ryan Williams from Alabama, who's another cover athlete for the game. Speaking of cover athletes, Sam is on the deluxe cover with
and Kenny.
And Kenny as well. So it's good to see those guys getting recognition, and it's recognition can be good and bad. You got to take it with what you will. Take it with a grain of salt. Enjoy it because it does ultimately help you gain attraction and attention from NFL scouts, but you also got to block it out in terms of your preparation and continuing your daily habits and carrying a chip on your shoulder. That's what Sam Levitt does so well, is he always finds an edge. He has a whiteboard with a list of the top 10 quarterbacks who were listed ahead of him, or people who think or guys they think are better than him in his draft class, and he has Heisman listed on there as well. Big manifestation guy, believes in prayer as well. Really tries to manifest his success, and he's done well at it so far.
It'll be interesting. I was talking. We started this talking about the barbecue I had this afternoon, and it'll be interesting because I was talking to my dad about this whole experience, and he basically said, when it comes to media days, that he basically said this is when we'll really know how Kenny's a good coach. This season will really show us how good of a coach he is, because if he can get this team to shut out the outside noise and they can have another season and back up and keep building on this, then we really know. Because I know, Blake, I've lived here my whole life. You're still newer to the area. You have not experienced the basically biannual Arizona sports pick a team heartbreak yet. So I'm all of our fingers are crossed that the Sun Devils do not befall us.
You go by history. You got the 1996 team that goes to the Rose Bowl, ends up losing to Ohio State, which ultimately cost them the chance at potentially a national championship bid. You go to 2007, Dennis Erickson, undefeated through their first 7 games. Was off to a really hard start, and then I believe a Todd Graham team in there, 2013, played in the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, my senior year, Pac-12 championship, and then that was not sustained after that.
And so then now you have this team. So that's what a lot of the national media has been talking about, is this just going to be another one of those Arizona State one-hit wonders? Because Arizona State has had double-digit win seasons. They've had an 11-win season before. So is it going to be sustained? And I think there's just a different feel about it from the fan base. It doesn't feel like this was... Now, did Arizona State have some lucky points last season? Sure. They had some good balls drop their way that may not drop their way again, but this feels like something that isn't just flashy. It's been built internally, built from the ground up.